What's up, ladies and gentlemen, my name's Scyushi, and today I'm going to be giving you a quick little guide to how you can effectively farm the Snowfest event as efficiently as possible, because there's kind of a little bit of a secret that you can end up doing that definitely helps. Keep in mind, I will be showing off all of these items at the end of the video, but before we get there, I would appreciate if you left a like. It always helps a lot. So if we end up going into the hub, the reason why this is such an astronomically terrible quest is because you're going to end up needing a lot of the pristine snow in order to craft all of these bad boys. The classic snowman rescue badge, of course, is when you kill random snowmen, you craft it into clothes, you go to this guy, then you craft it into this, and you craft it into this, and it's just, there's all these unnecessary steps. It's really stupid, but the amount of pristine snow that you need for all of those guys is nothing in comparison to the thousands upon thousands that you'll need in order to craft the wings and the mounts. Now, keeping in mind that all of these items can be found very rarely out of the event, so it is more reasonable for your time to probably just farm for flux or to try and get these as random drops. But as far as the pristine snow is concerned, there's a little bit of a trick that you can do. So I'm actually going to go to Forbidden Spires for this, because Forbidden Spires, generally speaking, is one of the best, most efficient biomes in the game, because there's a very limited amount of 3-star dungeons that can generate in this biome, and thus it will end up generating a lot more Christmas dungeons. Near as I can tell anyways, it might just be that I'm crazy. But then on top of that, there's also good odds of present dungeons, although for just farming present dungeons exclusively, Geode Surface might be better for that. However, you're probably not going to end up running into the tree dungeons because I don't think they have any for the Geode Surface. You don't have to stick to Forbidden Spires because maybe you want to kill some snowmen along the way. I'm just trying to find a present dungeon for an example clip. There's one right there. So these present dungeons are going to end up being your bread and butter, because the weird thing about this event is there's an exclusive item that you can get out of these present dungeons. Namely, there are these present hats. And there's 5 distinct different types of these hats. Keep in mind, some of them look very similar to one another, so keep that, keep your eyes peeled. They only drop as legendary, which means they have the orange circle around them. And the dead giveaway is when you go to the loot collector, they should appear right up at the top as a new style that you haven't obtained. The reason this is important is because these will end up giving you a buff where you will receive more pristine snow from completing tree dungeons. So you have to farm the hats out of the present dungeons first, but then if you want to end up farming for pristine snow, you would go to tree dungeons with the effects. And the interesting thing is all of these effects stack. So if we end up equipping one of the helmets and completing this dungeon, you'll notice that I got a buff in the top left for the little present icon. But then if I swap to the next hat and complete another dungeon, it'll end up giving me another buff, because so long as the hats are all different from one another, you can actually stack all 5 of the present buffs at once. And once you get to that point, there is no point farming the present dungeons anymore. You will specifically be going out of your way for the tree dungeons, because unfortunately this buff only affects the tree dungeons, it doesn't affect the presents. Now I gotta give shout outs to my homie Lion, because he actually threw me the Snowfall Frost Wolf that he just got as a random drop. I already had the Yule Spirit drop for me randomly, so it's pretty common, quote unquote. It's all RNG at this point, of course. The wings can drop, but I just ended up farming them, and I was able to get the pristine snow that I needed in about like 2 hours or something. So if you're still trying to farm for absolutely all of this, it would be maybe like 4 hours or under, depending on how many hats you get, and more importantly, how many new hats you get, because there is the risk of running into duplicates, which kind of sucks. I kind of just stopped when I got to 4 hats, because now the odds of me getting the last 5th hat that I needed would be a 1 in 5 or 1 in 4. And I just didn't really want to take that risk. Hopefully this makes the event more bearable for you guys. Obviously, the only thing that you would end up getting out of the event is the little bit of extra mastery, but I did want to end up taking the opportunity to show you guys this is what the wings look like, which is actually not that bad kind of looks neat. The living Yule log is one of these mounts, so it's one of the ones that you can't actually end up moving with. It's just for the sake of standing on a Christmas tree and looking cool, I guess. And finally, the snow wolf is going to be one of these wolves. So it actually floats into the air, which is really cool. I don't think it has any gliding speed. No, it does not. So it's just this. Either way, these are actually really cool items. I totally understand why most people are just skipping this event, frankly speaking, because the items just aren't really worth the trouble they are to, actually obtain them. But I'll end up having like a YouTube short or something today as well that will probably show all of these items specifically, because today's video was most of all focused on the hats, and then I also wanted to finally catch up and show you guys all the rewards because I couldn't get these ready for the event guide video just because the event itself, it does require a significant time sink, because while I was able to get the wings in about like 2 hours, that's not including the extra hour or two that I spent farming for the hats in the first place. But it makes the event bearable, but that doesn't mean that this event is necessarily good. It's still pretty bad. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I would appreciate if you would hit like on the way out. Something that I did want to mention is today I was fully intending on making a review video of the latest Snowfest 2024 pack, but unfortunately it's been taking all day for my credit purchase to process, which is why I decided to throw this video up instead.